Hi everybody, congratulations, you made it through the first couple of days of our challenge, and I think we call it wellness challenge. It doesn't sound as scary as weight loss challenge. From about 14 people, I think, 4 have sent me some sort of feedback, which I think is a little bit little. And so I decided to kick your bottoms a little bit, right? So if you want to be successful, it works. It is a proven fact that it works better if you're accountable to somebody. And accountability doesn't mean if you feel like it, it means when it has to be done, right? And that is every evening when you finished eating, or you foresee that you finish eating and you're not cheating afterwards anymore, otherwise you have to tell me the next day, that you are done. And you don't have to send me everything what you're eating if you don't want to, but just it went well, or I had problems with that, or you can send me every single detail what I'm eating. But if I get at 9 o'clock or at 8 o'clock 13 messages, I will not answer them, right? But what I will do, and that's what's happening now, I'm going to take the most important part out of it, and if I find it's essentially important for you in that moment, then I will answer you. But otherwise, I'm go cuckoo. On Monday I only finish teaching at 8 o'clock. I go cuckoo if I at 9 o'clock have to answer 13 WhatsApp messages. So I will do probably almost on a daily basis a video on a specific subject. And today we have the protein, because of the ones I have feedback back, most of them have not enough protein or not complete proteins in their diet, which, as we know, proteins are building blocks of tissue and can also serve as fuel. They are required for body growth and maintenance. And they're also transports of carriers of hormones and minerals and vitamins, and it serves as functions for enzymes. So there's really a lot what proteins are needing to uses of proteins. Protein has, for most women, that feeling, oh no, that is something what only bodybuilders or people who want to really build a lot of muscle need to have. You are so on the wrong track there, right? The amount of protein depends on how much you need to take in. If you're a sedentary person, meaning somebody who sits the whole day basically on their bottom in front of a computer and doesn't move much, they need about 0.7 grams per kilogram body weight, sorry. So you can calculate that out easily. If you are 100 kilo and you need 9.7, you can calculate that out easily. And if you're less, then you can calculate. We all have a calculator, right? Now then comes the point. I've written actually a whole essay for you about this here. And then it comes to the point where the protein intake has to be higher. And that's, for example, for endurance athletes. Like if you're running on a daily basis and more than 500 meter, right? So you're running like 5-10 kilometers every single day or 3 times a week or something like this. On those days, you need about 1.4 grams per kilogram body weight. Then if you are, for example, a football player, a rugby player, or any other more strenuous thing, it might be something in your workplaces. You might be a construction worker. A nurse, for example, falls, in my opinion, under endurance work because they're running all the time. When I was nursing, that's where I learned to walk fast, so that my children are still moaning why I'm walking so fast. So endurance, 1.4. Football, rugby, soccer, all these players, 1.7. If you're doing sort of weight training exercise and you do them on a serious daily basis, not because you're lifting twice a week 1 kilogram weight. I mean really serious bodybuilding. You go to the gym and you will do weight-bearing exercises for an hour, serious training. You don't have to call yourself a bodybuilder, but you're picking up heavy weights and you're doing short reps of power work with the weight instead of 31 kilogram reps. Then you need about 2 grams per kilogram body weight. Right? So that is important. Now I want to just come quickly about the different type of proteins. So we have a couple of vegetarians here, and we have a couple of people who are non-vegetarians, which we call the carnivores. So, right. There is a sort of a group, it's called the blood type associated dieting, which there are some scientists out there who say it's not proven, and some scientists say it is proven. I find it is very much, for me it is 100%, and I find most people who look at it say it is 100% what they would like to eat. But I get to this another time. In any case, so Bud Light Zero is generally often associated with carnivores, meaning they need animal meat and protein from animals more than A and B, which are their whole organism, their whole body copes better with a vegetarian diet. I, for example, don't cope at all well with carbohydrates. Whatever I put on carbohydrates in my body will immediately go into where the fat rolls are sitting then between waist and mid-thigh. That is typical for blood group 0. And so other A's and so on, they also have and then you go into different body types and so on. So in action, so we went through the function quickly, and if you want more about it, please let me know. I'm sending you the information then via email. And there's essential amino acids and there are non-essential amino acids. The essential amino acids you only get through nutrition, not by looking at the food, not by buying it. You actually have to eat it, right? The non-essential amino acids are the ones your body provides. So there again, you have to remember the amounts we need to put in, that you have to have of both in your system. The non-essential obviously not as much. So if you eat 9.7 grams of, or 9.8 grams or 9.7 grams of protein per kilogram body weight of non-essential amino acids, then you're not eaten enough. It doesn't matter how much you've eaten then of it. So then we have 3 different types of proteins. Obviously, ideally, you want to put a complete protein into your system. Then you don't have to worry of what you're putting it together with, so that your body can use it as a complete protein to act to its full capacity. This would be, for example, which they call also high quality amino acids, proteins from animal-based foods and sources like meat, poultry, fish, milk, eggs, and cheese. Now I hear the vegetarians screaming and saying, I'm not eating any of that. And then we're going into the incomplete proteins, which are the one low in one or more essential amino acids. That would be plant-based food sources like grains, lentils, and rice. And then we're getting into the complementary, right, some words I will never learn, which is 2 or more complete protein sources provide together an adequate amount of essential amino acids. So which means, for example, rice and dry beans. They together have a certain amount of essential amino acids, but not enough to make it a complete protein. I won't bore you now with exactly the names of which amino acids there are, but they fit like puzzle pieces together and are then a complete protein. So the body is quite a magic machine. You do not have to eat these complementary proteins in one food, in one meal. As long as it's over a 24-hour period, your body will source them and put them together where they belong. So I find that quite astonishing. So that's basically what I wanted to say to you about the makeup of proteins. So you know how much you have to put in, you know which ones you should be putting in, and don't be scared of them. So the proteins, the more protein you eat, the less you actually are hungry. Because if you lack protein, it's more than likely that you feel craving more sugary, starchy foods. So make sure that you have those proteins in. And yes, I don't think a packet of tuna or a tin of tuna is necessarily the snack of your desire when you crave chocolate. But a handful of some biltong is probably for me a snack of choice. Also, it is training. We are all just a couple of days out, or most of us, if we crave sugary foods, a couple of days of taking sugar away from us. So there's a couple of hints and so on, like brush your teeth, suck on some peppermint tea, drink some bubble water with some flavor in it, and so on. It takes 20 minutes to get you out of that craving. And so just the harder you, or say, what's the hardest, not the word, the more strict you are with yourself in the moment, the quicker it takes. It takes normally about 21 days, and our challenge is a month. So in the last set, we should actually be much easier on it. And another thing also, if you come out of fasting, some of you are doing intermittent fasting, you start with a protein, right? You need a protein then, not with a starch. If you have a starch, your body's insulin level will go skyrocketing up from nothing. Suddenly it gets that starch, which it builds down basically to sugar. You have to put sugar in a different context here so that the body can use it as sugars. And if you have a protein, and so it drives the insulin level up. So if you have a protein, it actually levels the insulin level more out, and it's not going up as skyrocketing. If insulin goes skyrocketing up, it most of the time comes skyrocketing down again, unless you eat it with protein. The idea you want to have that your insulin level stays at a nice straight line. So I done one of my major exams in nursing in diabetes and insulin. So I never, and a lot has changed so far, but it's always stuck with me that this was a huge matter of interest. So so that's what I wanted to tell you about protein. Please send me your info through. Also, I have another thing. I would like to do once a week, a Zoom call, maybe on a Saturday, straight after the morning class or so. Give me some ideas what times you think are suitable. I will record it and send it to the people who can't come, just as a Q&A. So see if you're keen on it. Let me know. Okay, I kept you too long, what I can waffle now for 14 minutes just about protein. So if you have any more questions, let me know. I'm going to make another video, even if I have to make it daily, because you have to learn. If you're not learning and grasping it, you fail after this month. So you're going to do your own thing again. And so ask away. I believe in you. Bye.